Unlocked is brought to you by Invincible, a program designed to unlock the potential of people and teams inside your organization. Join companies like Pfizer, Delta, the CDC, Google, and Chick-fil-A, and others in over 116 countries that are currently using this program to increase productivity and develop healthy cultures. Access hundreds of hours of content that is accessible anytime, anywhere. And finally, use real-time data to understand the health of every team inside your organization, which teams are performing and which ones aren't. Then understand the why behind that performance. Get free access to Invincible for 30 days by visiting www.giant.tv/30days. Are you ready to be taught by a woman that has been in education for a very long time? She knows her stuff. She is now teaching at a university. She's had her own business. She's been a mentor. She's been a coach. She's been a teacher from all the way from teaching, being a teaching assistant, going up through principal, through supervisors, through all these different things in her life. And it's always revolved around mentorship for her. It's always revolved around the impact that she's had on other people because of the impact that has been made on her from people that mentored her in the past. And that's how it is with all of us, right? We start somewhere because we needed help and somebody was there for us and they mentored us and they taught us, and we've achieved what we've achieved because of those things. Now it's up to us to implement those things, but other people help bring it out in us. And that's what Dr. Michelle does. And one of the central themes of this interview could be applied to us as individuals, us as business owners, but also us as society, as a culture as a whole. So I want you to pay attention to that theme as well. As we get into this, think about this as an employer looking for recruits, because she does a lot as well with helping people find jobs. And she talks about it from both sides of the table there as well. Okay, let's do this. She is about to educate us and I'm excited. So let's roll. All right, Dr. Michelle, we are here and you have a lot to teach us because you like how I did that? Because you've been a teacher forever, right? So I think this is going to be a perfect conversation for me. I love being taught. I love learning things, and I hope the audience as well. So let's start out with a little bit of your experience right now. You have been in the space for a long time. You have a lot of credentials behind you, very competent in what you do. What are you doing right now to spread that knowledge and health to everyone around you?
So right now I'm teaching at Houston Baptist University. I'm working with aspiring educators and just really enjoying that work. Just really working with folks who are novice in the field of education and helping them explore what roles they think they can thrive in the best and have the most impact. I'm also doing some work as a consultant with those who are seeking positions in higher ed and administration as school leaders. And right now the work is even more critical because of just all the weirdness that we're dealing with right now. And that's what I enjoy doing the most, is making sure that we have the right people at the helm to do this very critical work for students, and that they are equipped and confident and that they're aware of their talent so that they can impact the most individuals.
What is the thing that is the biggest struggle for those students right now coming into this space at this time in our country? You help them with job placement. You help with all those things of helping them prepare for a job, of knowing what to expect when you're starting out. What's the thing they struggle with the most right now?
So right now it's that everyone is uncomfortable and there's a lot of new learning for everyone. And so I have to help individuals to understand that collectively we can thrive. So technology is huge, huge, huge. Some of our younger folks, because they're digital natives, they grew up carrying an iPad in the back seat. They know how to navigate the technology. So that potential employer needs them. The employer may have more experience and know about pedagogy, which is instructional strategies and things that work. However, they may not know how to get to the student, how to engage the student. The strategies that used to work in your more brick and mortar environments just don't work via technology. If a student is sitting across from you via a computer, there are certain apps that you can use to engage. There are certain platforms that are more interactive. And so it's been difficult to help the students to know that although they are novice, the things that they have expert knowledge about are essential, and helping them to really make sure that they present themselves in a way that they are coming in with some actual solution-oriented skills that are needed in the workplace. For our leaders, it's being proactive. It's doing the extra step. You may have a cousin, a nephew, or a niece. Inquire of folks that you know, what are you struggling with? What's difficult? Is it the schedule? Is it Zoom? Is it the work that's being presented? And then being proactive. As a leader, if I were given this campus, what would I share with my teachers so that they would have a skill set that is helping the parents to be more prepared to work with their children? So it's for our leaders, it's being proactive to anticipate those things that could be problematic. For our young folks who are entering the field of teaching, it's being empowered and knowing the skills that they need, that they're bringing, that are absolutely needed.
That's interesting because I like to think about from both sides. And when you look at what you just said, it's the younger people, they come into this world being very maybe insecure, maybe downplaying their knowledge or role or whatever it is, and not feeling maybe worthy or not feeling like they know enough. And rightly so, they're starting out, right? Young. Once those leaders come into play, they're very confident, they're very competent, well, for the most part, right? And they think they have all the answers. But what you're saying is we need a meet like in the middle. We need these young people to step up, to feel confident, to feel you have these things in you. We need you leaders. We need you to ask, to inquire, to help us feel valued, heard, and understood, because then you will be informed with what you need. Yes, we know you're good at your job. Yes, we know you've been in this industry for 30 years. Yes, we know you have answers, but there are things that we have and can bring to the table, and you need to make sure you are listening.
Absolutely. I mean, you just synthesized exactly what I've been conveying since we've been impacted by the change in our normal school routine. And it's a meeting of the minds and a sharing of ideas. It's a chance to be more confident. Confidence is a huge piece right now because people are feeling so insecure. And then the humility of sharing, I don't know. I don't know how to get online. I don't know how to set up this Zoom. I don't know how to answer questions, and I don't have norms set up so that I can really engage everyone. So you just summed it up so beautifully. The thing that I've been conveying to the audiences that I get a chance to share with.
You talk a lot about collaboration. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about collaboration. Yeah. And understanding what that means. You spoke before about, when we were offline, a little bit about that definition of culture, and culture to you is collaboration. Unpack that a little bit for me. Why is collaboration so essential to developing healthy culture?
So collaboration gives a voice and allows problem solving to occur in the right way. When we collaborate and we set up an environment where there is free communication that's uninhibited, that is honest and transparent, then we can begin to devise strategies that solve and that actually transform and help us to get to new heights with our productivity. I share often. When I was in college, I took a course called Logic. And in Logic, they would give a statement, a premise. And then from there, you would prove if the premise was false or true. Well, inadvertently, I discovered if the premise was false, the outcome was going to be false. So you have to have a true premise to really bring about real change, real solutions, and devise plans that really work. Collaboration allows for hearing from different parties, hearing what the strengths are, what the weaknesses are, what the opportunities are, and what the threats are. And you have to have all of those voices to really develop a great plan. You know, when you're doing the SWOT analysis, you need those folks to bring in every perspective. You need a good assessment of what the strengths are. What are they? What do we have at our disposal that is good, that propels us? And then, just as important, that cannot be minimized, what are the weaknesses? We have to be honest so that we can troubleshoot properly. What are our threats? And you need those different perspectives because one person won't know everything, and then opportunities. And so collaboration, when there is equity of voice, opportunity for voice, then beautiful solutions can be brought about.
I can't help but think while you're talking and ask myself, is she talking about business and education, or is she talking about the state of our country? You know, like the same principle applies. If we had more collaboration, it would reshape our country and us as humanity, not just our businesses and not just who we are, but really us as a whole. And that's powerful. And that's where that collaboration comes in. So right on. I'm so glad you brought that up as far as what it's going to take. What do you think when companies, you work a lot with helping students find placement in jobs, the right job for the right person, how to prep for that job, how to land that job? What is the thing that businesses can do? What's it? Well, let me back up. What's the biggest mistake that businesses are making in their recruiting processes or in, in culture in general?
So this is a Michelleism, and
Okay.
this is just from sheer observation. And I really, really believe when I look at different business models, when we try to be all things to all people, we fail. We Most businesses do not have the capacity to offer everything, every service to everyone. And so I think we get diluted. I think we lose our effectiveness when we're spread too thin and when we overpromise. We lose our credibility. We lose our momentum. And it can be just tragic for a business owner. It's so important to refine and streamline for as a person to really acknowledge what can we offer, what is our skill set, what is our gifting to provide to others. And so that's one of the mistakes that I see happening. in the business world is this overpromise. When the menu is so expansive that the chef can't produce, it's too much. It's too much, and it's very unfortunate that just because there's an opportunity doesn't mean that we have to explore it.
You say that, and I think of like the Chili's menu when I go, or the Cheesecake Factory, right? You go in there and it's like 15 pages, all really small font. It's like the waiter comes out and says, "Hey, are you guys ready to order?" I'm like, "No, give me like 15 minutes. I need to, sort through this thing." But yeah, what you're saying is that when the menu card is so full, then we dilute who we are, we dilute the services, we really can't deliver the
Yeah.
the primary thing that we want to deliver. So on the other side, what are students looking for coming out of college? What are they looking for in a place where they want to go work?
Well, I've been very blessed with the students that I work with and folks that I take on. Um, I work from a place of what I believe has to be filled with integrity. And so I'll never take on a client or try to coach someone if we don't meld and mesh with our principles. So the folks that I work with are truly seeking to make a difference. And so I always want them to be very mindful of what their skill set is. So we take a lot of time doing inventory on what are you good at, and then where do you fit. And so sometimes that takes time to really unpack so that they land in the right place. But they want to do good work, they want to make a difference. And so it's a huge human capital piece that I work with. It's not a product per se, because these are human beings that we're working with.
Human beings. Yeah, we are. And we are the thing that makes it happen. We are the thing that makes it work. And we are, as humans, the things that are going to make or break a system. We are the things
Yes.
that are going to help an organization thrive or crash. And that is what's so essential about communication and how we communicate and what we're communicating to other people, whether we're an employer looking for somebody to fill a position or whether we are looking for a position. So I do a lot of brand coaching for individuals and companies, and shaping that individual brand. It comes with so much understanding. I'm so happy to hear about that inventory process you do of discovery, of understanding who we are as people, so that then we can know where we want to be, where we fit in, and where we can make the biggest impact. Because I believe that if we aren't fully bought in, and tell me if you disagree here, if we're not fully bought in, we're going to have a really hard time truly making an impact for that employer.
That's absolutely true, Scott. You have to know who you are, and you have to know what your strengths are, and you have to recognize and own what your deficits are. And then when you do that, you can do great work because you're informed and you know when you need to get assistance and you know where you need to go and get trained. But you have to do that inventory piece for us as educators, because if we're empty and if we're not equipped, we can't have impact. And so some of the exercises that I have folks go through are very um, filled with some psychology. I'm not a psychologist, but they're practices that work so that a person is very self-aware so that they can have the greatest impact.
You have a beautiful phrase about starting. Share that with me and then unpack it for me.
So I say this about everything. The way you start is the way you finish. And that's with everything, the way you start your business, the way you start relationships. And I've even drilled down to the way you start your day. Because I work with people and I'm an introvert. I'm extremely shy, almost painfully shy. It can be immobilizing. However, because I have this task in front of me and I feel very moved to make impact, I have to fill myself up. So I go through a process daily of building myself up so that I can make deposits throughout the day that positively impact others. So I really believe in my heart that the way that you start is the way that you finish. And so um, I want everyone that I work with to be very, very aware of what their skills are so that when they go into the business world or when they go into a position, they have the best foundation possible because that's going to set them up for success. I really try to help folks to think 7 steps ahead. It's not easy to do, but really project, continually go back to your own strategic plan or smart plan that you have for your life and project out 3 years at a time so that you're always ahead so that you can thrive professionally. So even if you have a bit of a hiccup or a setback here or there, you can recover and stay on your trajectory.
Love it. Thank you. That is so, so wise. And you have come from an extensive background. I mean, I'll read over 20 years, athletic coach, district trainer, teacher, assistant principal, campus principal, master teacher. You've mentored people. You've authored and co-authored books. You coach people through life coaching. You mentor stuff like you are all about pouring out knowledge. You gained a lot of knowledge through your education, through the things you've done. And I can tell that you are about serving those individuals and helping them find their place so that then they can help others. And that's what we call multiplying health, multiplying leadership. You as a leader are teaching our future leaders, multiplying your health to them to then help them multiply their health to their future employers or maybe the people that they then mentor later on in life. Does that type of philosophy resonate with you? What is kind of your structure about how you do things?
That resonates with me so much because that's what was given to me. Um, if I did not have the benefit of mentors, I don't know where I would be. I am truly the product of so many individuals pouring into me. And what I did not put on my bio is that's the path of success that's on the bio. It's coach and teacher and athletic coach. There's a story before that story. I was a young single mom who couldn't speak above a whisper or drive, and I really lost. And I began substitute teaching because I had a few hours, just enough, just barely enough to substitute teach. Well, an incredible principal said, you know, you're always here. Why don't you just work here full time? And I was an assistant, truly an assistant. I did all of those things that no one wants to do at a school, from custodial type tasks to some administrative type tasks. Throughout my journey as a teaching assistant, as a teacher, as an athletic coach, as an assistant principal, professor, there's always been someone mentoring me, coaching me. You know, I'm a 3rd-generation educator. I come from a long line of incredible, strong women that prayed for me and coached me. And so it is important to multiply those efforts. I've not heard that phrase. I love it. I'm going to be using it from now on. It's in my repertoire of vocabulary because that's what we're bound to do. When we've been blessed this way, it's incumbent upon us to share so that those types of traits and experiences can be spread exponentially. And that's our responsibility to walk that thing out. So yes, that resonates with me. I share those things that were shared with me, and then I've picked up some skills and strategies and tips along the way, and I share those things forward as well.
Awesome. You have taught me, and I appreciate that. Thank you for pouring into me and the audience. How can people get in touch with you? If they want more information, is there something they can collaborate with you on? How do they do that?
Oh, I'd love to hear from them. I have a website. It's Consulting Services by Dr. Michelle, so they can Google that, or they can simply type in www.thedrmichelle.com, and they can find all of my contact information there. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I have a YouTube channel, all Dr. Michelle. And I would love to hear from anyone out there that's doing great work and wants to enhance their practice and would just like to be coached and enriched.
You're awesome. The Dr. Michelle. Yes, I love it. Go ahead and claim it.
There's so many Dr. Michelle.
You are the Dr. Michelle.
Thank
Right?
you.
Okay, you're awesome. Thanks, Dr. Michelle, for being here. I appreciate it. We reshape cultures within businesses, reshape culture within society, better collaboration. Collaboration, rising up to the occasion. If we feel insecure, if we feel like we don't have what it takes to understand what's in us, what our gifts are, what our strengths are, what the opportunities are so that we can rise up. And then it's all about humility and also understanding that sometimes we need to calm down, to listen, to collaborate, to understand. And that is what's going to bring more harmony with all of us. And whether we're looking for a job or whether we're mentoring somebody or we're being mentored by someone, these are all super important principles to carry with us. Dr. Michelle, thank you for that. I mean, the Dr. Michelle, thank you for that. So you can find all these interviews on my website at skotwaldron.com. They're all there in my blog. You can also find them on my YouTube channel, and there's other goodies there as well. So connect with me. I've got a few things, free resources that I'm just pouring into you that I hope you will take and educate yourself about communication, about unlocking the potential of you and your company and your team. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.